Have a
Rich,
beer,
I have a
relax.
question. When you talked about getting into a situation where you saw it starting to go downhill uh, with your interest level, have you ever like I listened to your Cobourg, Ontario story, and that
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Welcome to Cobourg. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like that was like one of the most downhill segments I've ever listened to, where you talk about things just going from bad to worse.
I'm not familiar with Coburg, so what's the 3 minute?
Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. So I
Why were
wanted
you
to,
going there? Were you picking up something?
I was buying a car in Canada. So because I was doing this Tesla stuff a long time ago before there were a ton of cars on the road. And as a result, there weren't many wrecked cars that I could pick parts from. So I literally went to Canada to pick up a car. I found a car for sale, purchased it, drove to Canada, and I'll tell you, man, like it it was. You ever watch like planes, trains, and automobiles where like everything is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, gosh, the quick and dirty is that I went to Canada, didn't know much about Canada really, and getting over the border, and I went over there and I had a trailer on the back of my truck, and they were like, okay, well, who's this guy? What do you have a trailer? What are you getting here? I'm like, well, I'm getting a Tesla. And they're like, okay, buddy. Well, I'll ask some more questions here. And, and then basically, they searched the car. Like, do you have anything dangerous in this car? And I said, no, like, I mean, it is what it is. And, they pulled me over and they looked in the glove box and they found mace. And if you know anything about Canada, mace in Canada is
That's a deadly weapon, my friend.
Yes,
that's
yes.
But
grounds.
if it had been labeled bear spray, it would have been okay.
Seriously, like they're like, well, because we found this, we're going to shoot you in front of a firing squad. So that was the first thing, and you know what, they actually they how do I put this? Um,
Strip
because
search.
I lied to them the first time, they were not very trusting of me. And they called me into a room to make sure that I wasn't hiding anything else. I'll put it nicely.
But see, that's one of those situations. If you did not know the Canadian rules of pepper spray, it wasn't technically a lie. It was naivety.
Yeah, like pepper spray. I mean, is that really harmful? It would just make someone really mad if you did it. Maybe it wouldn't kill. Maybe
Don't
it
piss
wouldn't
off
kill
the
them.
moose.
Right, you just
So,
piss them off. Like if they asked me specifically, do you have anything in this car that's going to piss someone off? I would say, oh yeah, there's pepper spray. Pepper spray in the glove box. So then I get there and oh gosh. So
Okay.
basically I get there. I get the car. I have a Toyota Tacoma V6, which it says it has a 7,000-pound towing. No,
Downhill.
that thing, any V6 was struggling and wheezing up and down hills. I couldn't figure out, I mean, I could, but I didn't really properly follow the speed limit for kilometers and miles per hour. And just, it was a nightmare. I was going too fast. And then whenever I slowed down, and then I pulled into a rest stop, got some food, hit the road again. And then I'm listening to this song on the radio, and I'm like, wow, this is a really good song, really vibing to it, having a great time. And I'm like, wow, this song has a lot more bass than I thought it would. I turn the radio down, and there's a thumping noise. And I'm like, what is that thumping noise? All of a sudden, I hear the loudest, like, explosion I've ever heard in my life. And all of a sudden, the car started like twisting and fishtailing on the highway. I was going at least, it's kilometers per hour. I don't know, 70, 80 kilometers per hour, which is pretty fast. I don't know what that is, 60, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I lost control of my truck and I end up turning into a ditch with the trailer behind me. So I have a 6,000-pound truck pulling a 2,000-pound trailer with a 5,000-pound car on top of it.
My gosh.
So what ended up happening was the wheel to my truck fell off.
Oh.
And whether, I mean, it could have been because it was overloaded. Maybe when I over torqued the bolt, I don't know. But I freaked out, pulled over, caught my breath, right? Opened the door to my truck to just kind of assess the damages. That same wheel flying at 50-something miles an hour slammed into the back of my leg, and I collapsed.
Oh.
Yeah, the same wheel. And like, at first I was like, this is the most intense pain I've ever felt. And I'm really weird. Like when I'm going through trauma, for some reason, I also try to simultaneously look at the good side. So as I was in extreme pain, I was like, Rich, I know this is painful. However, you did find your wheel.
Chase it down a mile down the road.
Right, yeah. It could have been, honestly, it could, if that wheel were to hit another car,
Right.
you know? So I'm glad it hit me and destroyed my leg as opposed to anything else happening. So it was just bizarre. Like, I took time off work to get there, and because everything in Canada is really far away, and where I was really far away, and they just, like, the Canadian way of life, there's no rush for anything. There's no rush. Like they said,
Yeah, you Americans are just too busy. That's the problem.
yeah, I went to a Canadian Tire and I said, hey, like, I need my truck fixed, because it was so bizarre. Think about this for a second. Whatever tow vehicle you call, it has to be able to bring your truck, a trailer, and another car. So imagine like how long it would take to find said vehicle. Because let's be real, like, you know, in Canada, you know, if you break down the side of the road, you're on your own, you ride a moose and you head home. But like, you know, I didn't know that. So I had to figure out there's no AAA up there either. So you call AAA, they say, okay, well, we'll do anything we need you to do, but we just want to make sure that you're not in Canada. And I said, okay, good. Yeah, you could be literally anywhere but Canada. And I said, well, I'm in Canada. And then they hung up. So
Just click.
yeah, we're like, hello. So basically, I got a ride towed there. I got a ride to Canadian Tire. And I said, hey, I have a Tacoma. The wheel fell off. Okay, you need studs. You need this. You need this. I said, okay, perfect. And I said, well, when can this be fixed? And they're like, I don't know, a few days. Days? Like, I got so desperate. I was literally planning on buying another car and just driving it back. I was so frustrated. The trip was a calamity of errors. It was such a bizarre trip. Everything went wrong. There's one thing that didn't go wrong.
The one wheel.
You know, so yes, well, that helped me a lot. One thing that didn't go wrong was getting to the border. I got to that border, and I wish I had a picture of it. This car, I didn't have a cover for it. It was burnt and charred beyond all recognition. Like, it looked like the worst case of arson ever, right? And I didn't have, so like, imagine like a Toyota Tacoma with me like waving and smiling, you know, driving this charred car. I got to the border with the burnt car on the back of the trailer. They looked at me. They said, hey, what's up, man? What's that back there? Oh, Tesla, that's cool. All right, see you later. It's the Americans. Like, it's like, yeah, America, yeah, hell yeah. It's like they didn't even care. They didn't care. Like, wait a minute, what's this? Is this guy in a pickup truck? He looks disgusting. He's all sweaty. He hasn't showered in days. Smells awful.
And he's got a bird car. Go America.
But he is an American citizen. So let's just wait, get him in. Get our boys home. And you know what? As I like to keep like little like mementos, I actually kept the bill for Canadian Tire. It's one of the things that I keep with me. I also keep the the fine that they charged me for bringing. So they took the mace, right?
Oh,
So they searched me. They took the mace, and I got a fine.
Oh my
This
God.
is how Canada stays winning. This is how Canada. This is, you know what I mean? They extracted all they could from me for sure.
Wow.